Hello and welcome back. In today's video tutorial, we're going to be going over the story settings. Now, a lot of these things we did cover in the creating new story video, but I would still like to just cover these just to give a little extra context. All right, so the first thing you're going to need to do is click on any story that you've created so that you actually have access to the story settings. Then you just simply click on it. Now, a lot of these settings in here you might not see because it's going to be dependent upon your subscription level. I'm going ahead and show you the full list just so that you know what to expect. All right, starting at the top, you will notice it clearly lays out your contribution days and voting days. Next up, you can edit your title, make changes. Maybe you had a misspelling in it. Current image, this is where you would change it to upload it. Right now, it happens when you create a new story. It gets a default base image based on the genre, but this is where you change it to an image that you want. Then this is where also, this next section is where you can enter your story summary if you didn't previously when creating a new story, or if you just need to make changes to it. And also, if you want to mark your story as complete, just to let readers know that this is a fully finished story, this is what you would set here. Next is fan fiction, same as before. If you want to let viewers know that this is a fan fiction story, that's what this option's for. And then back to story owner vote priority. This is where you set it so that the author's vote, meaning the person who created the story to begin with, will get the vote priority on submissions, so that no matter how many votes any other submission has, theirs would actually take priority. This is for just kind of better guidance, or maybe those situations where it's maybe like, for example, a contest and everybody submits and then the actual author of the story is the one that picks the winner, that type of stuff. Next, we have current visibility. This is set to whatever you set it in the creating of story, but again, you have public, private, and hidden. Private is viewable only by friends and people you invite, and hidden is only viewable by people that you invite specifically. The current mode, we have solo, collab, and manual. This is if you need to or want to update it from just being a solo only story and you want to change it to collab or manual. That's what this is for. We have the target audience. If you needed maybe you started out as all ages, and then as it progressed you needed to switch it to teen or adult, you could do that here. Tiebreaker settings. This is when multiple submissions are tied for the win, how the system handles it. Currently, randomly is just going to pick one of out of the pool of tied winners or tied submissions with the most votes to declare the winner. The second option is least previous wins, where it's going to first check to see if any of the people that are currently tied have had any previous submissions before. That way it kind of gives everybody an extra chance to get their submission selected. But in the event of another tie, then it just defaults back to random. Current contribution voting days. This is where you can change or update those days. But again, this is also dependent on your subscription level. Next, we have the contribution character count. This allows you to change it up to 15,000. But this is how many characters the users can type into the submission. The contribution limit, the default is 20. It can increase up to 50. But what this controlled was how many submissions are actually viewable for voting. So at the limit of 20, for example, if you have 30 submissions, it's going to randomly pick 20 out of those 30 to be displayed. This kind of helps manage the window of voting, because it could be a little overwhelming if you had 100 submissions and you're just less likely to be seen. But this is something that we can change or update in the future if we feel like it needs to go beyond 50. Because I can imagine if there's some really famous writer happens to start a story, there's going to be a lot of submissions, which would be pretty cool to see. Next is if you want to update your content ratings, because by default they're either going to be marked as none or not yet rated. So maybe later you did add some profanity to it. This is where you could, change that. Manage viewers. If you had invited people to the story, you could click this, and this is where you would actually remove them if you no longer want them to be able to view your story. And the last option is delete story. Now this will give you a final little pop-up in case you accidentally click it, because I don't want somebody to accidentally delete their story. But these are all the settings, so I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We do have a Discord channel, which can be found at the bottom in the footer of the website if you need any more help. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll hope to see you in the next one.